One.
Hello, my name is Anoushka, candidate number 0006, center number IN518, and my topic today is about the ethics and economics of food. So here's the problem. Food insecurity and scarcity. Food insecurity is defined as the state of not having reliable access to affordable and nutritious food. This is usually caused due to factors such as population increase, climate change, or natural disasters. Exporting food as redistribution. In the mid-1980s, Ethiopia was the largest net exporter of food. When we think of Ethiopia, it's usually considered a third world country, a poor country. So how does a poor country export so much food to richer countries? The richer countries leached off all their food reserves, leaving them with virtually nothing. Basic supply and demand. So we know that when the supply for a product goes down, the demand for that goes up, thereby increasing the prices as well. Paying farmers not to farm. So the Conservation Reserve Program is a USDA-approved organization where they pay farmers not to practice their profession in order to preserve wildlife. So here are some of the consequences. Malnutrition and health issues. Malnutrition is caused by a poor diet and lack of nutrients in the body. This can further lead on to various health issues. Material deprivation for youth. Material deprivation is not having the goods or services that would typically be reserved for individuals or households of that stature. It has proved to have a very negative effect on educational achievement and especially for the youth. Increases in prices of food. As I said, when the supply goes down, demand goes up, and the prices also go up, which basically leads to people not having enough expenditure or enough money to buy food. Countries undergo trade deficits. Some countries import a lot of food, a lot of goods and services, and they don't have enough exports to balance that out, thereby causing trade deficits. So here are some of the possible solutions that I came up with. Aid to poorer nations. Urban agriculture, which is the cultivation, process, and distribution of food in a village, town, or city. Stopping the spread of non-native species, which are any organisms or species that are not native to a certain ecosystem, which thereby causes harm to that ecosystem. Strengthening domestic laws and maintaining company transparency. So here are the impact of these solutions on ethics. Countries are encouraged to be more ethical, and stricter laws will regulate behavior more closely. Both of these impacts will help reduce food wastage, as when countries are encouraged to be more ethical, they reduce their amounts of food wastage, and stricter controls, sanctions, and consequences will reduce food wastage in the sense that people will be afraid to waste food in case they have to spend money as fines or sanctions. Urban agriculture drives ethical usage of produce, thereby limiting food wastage. So urban agriculture is cultivating enough for yourself and your family. So you're not cultivating too much, you're not doing too little, you're doing enough to sustain yourself, which thereby reduces food wastage. Transparency may reduce unethical company practices, especially if the country has a history of doing so. Impact of solutions on economics. Now, food security leads to healthier individuals, which then leads to active members of the labor force, which decreases the unemployment rate, increases productivity, and thereby contributes to the GDP. Urban agriculture helps in reducing the need for imports and possibly increasing exports, which then causes a larger amount of jobs available for citizens. It limits the requirement for extra agricultural expenditure in relation to non-native invasive species. So when the country doesn't have to spend a lot on pesticides, insecticides, weed killers, etc. if they just eradicate non-native species completely. Could result in possible return on investment. So impact of solution on politics. Food security ensures political stability. If there's no food reserves, people will go crazy. There will be chaos, there will be unrest, and thereby political instability. Government can apply expenditure on other pressing issues. Now, food insecurity is a pressing issue. However, there are many other problems such as country security, international relations, crime, which the country can apply more expenditure towards. Urban farming can be very useful for countries with corrupt governments because it's essentially taking matters into your own hands. You're cultivating enough food for yourself, and thereby you don't need the assistance of the government. Aid can encourage healthy relationships with other countries. As I said, it could result in a possible return on investment and thereby causing more healthier relationships internationally. So here are some steps we have taken globally and locally and what we can do personally. The USA aided Ethiopia and Kenya due to their drought effects, contributing almost $169 million. The urban agriculture in Havana and Hyderabad are one of the world's largest urban agricultural sites. When the Soviet Union collapsed in the 1990s, so did Cuba's source of food. But due to urban agriculture, they're one of the most largest urban agricultural sites, and they have a ton of food reserves. The National Food Security Act of 2013 is India's way of aiding the citizens by providing them subsidized food grains to almost 2/3 of India's 2.1 billion population. The Destructive Insects and Pests Act is essentially stopping the spread of non-native invasive species. So anything that causes harm to agriculture or crops, they want to completely eradicate that. Then we have what we can do personally. Investing in urban agriculture. Urban agriculture, when we invest, when we contribute to local businesses and donate, it really gives you a sense of contributing to the community, and in turn you're investing in urban agriculture and you're promoting ethical and safe usage of food. Setting up local campaigns for distribution of food to the less fortunate. Anything you don't need, anything you don't plan on using, it's really effective to just give to the less fortunate. So here are my references and the sources that I've used for this presentation, and thank you very much.